Black Ops 2 is when trickshotting really started to blow up, and with that came some of the most impactful moments we had ever seen in the trickshotting community. So today I wanted to present to you the top 5 most impactful moments from Black Ops 2 trickshotting history.
Druid! Oh my god, Druid! Oh,
no, you did not. No! Oh my god!
This shot revolutionized Black Ops 2 trickshotting. In the background you can see Illcams 45, and this came out like a month before the shot was hit. And as you can see, people really didn't know how to trickshot in this game yet. We were really trying to replicate MW2 with P-swaps or equipment cancels or just like switching weapons. But as you can see, now that we know how to trickshot on BO2, this does not work on this game. It does not look good. This is not how you're supposed to trickshot. So when this shot was hit, it evolutionized BO2 trickshotting forever. And after that, trickshotting really skyrocketed because people understood how to trickshot in the game. And this is why it's at number 5.
Solid answers for the video, or else the song wasn't good. I don't know. Yo, Tensor. What? Yo, I don't know what these guys are doing in this call, but you fucking fake clips. You're kicked from the you're kicked from the challenge, and you're kicked from store. You're a fucking idiot, dude. We just wanted you to know.
Tensor was the biggest trickshotter to have been exposed for faking clips on BO2, and what's crazy is that he not only faked clips, he did it during the biggest recruitment challenge in trickshot history, during the FaZe 5, and what's crazy is that he almost made it. He actually almost made it. He made it all the way to the top 20. Imagine if he actually made it down to the last 5 and won it all. Like, what would have happened? Would he have been replaced? Who knows? But if you weren't around during this time, essentially what he did was he would go into private match and hit clips and fake them to make it look like a public match. And how you would do that is the differentiation between a public and private match is the match bonus in between the game and the kill cam. It's the transition screen that shows the rounds and then the match bonus. But the difference is in private match there is no match bonus, in public there is. So what he would do is make his own match bonus and input it onto the transition screen. But his mistake was he left out a frame. So at some point on his infamous turbine clip, the match bonus disappears, which clearly identifies that this is a private match clip, and which made it one of the most iconic moments in trickshot history, and it definitely deserves the number 4 spot.
Oh, here's the infamous clip that I missed a frame on. Prank that Terrio. We thought that would be a good gamer tag to use as a dummy. We seriously thought crank that Terrio. I remember I hit this and Strobe was watching it before anyone figured out it was fake, and he just DM'd me with crank that Terrio. He knew right away.
What is up, guys? This is FaZe, and I am here today with a huge announcement, something that has been very highly requested from us, the FaZe Recruitment Challenge. It is finally here.
The FaZe 5 was one of the coolest things that ever happened in trickshotting history, and it came at a complete surprise. No one ever thought FaZe would ever have a recruitment challenge, and to do it at such an amazing way like this that brought in so much enthusiasm and hype. This FaZe 5 nowadays is nothing like how it was before, and it's because nowadays it's so branched out to the point where it's like so hard to keep up with everything. But when it's just centered around one community and it is extremely big and super hype and it's very thriving, oh my goodness, it was such a beautiful time. It was so cool to see so many people just go for it. So many people who you never heard of become something, become known, and like even though there was a lot of people that did not make it, they became bigger names and actually probably ended up joining later on. So overall, it's just such an amazing to have so much iconic recruits like Hateful and Agony that were super hyped, and it was just such an amazing time to be in the community. I wish like anyone could have experienced this time. It was If you've ever been in a community that is like truly thriving and is very, not small, but where like a lot of people know everyone and everything that's going on, it is such a beautiful thing, and FaZe 5 really brought it out. and it definitely deserves this number 3 spot.
What's going on, guys? Austin Pomage, your Pomage, or just Austin, whatever floats your boat. And I know you guys are here for one specific reason. That is what I'm going to explain to you right now. Why I left FaZe Clan. If you guys didn't know, I left FaZe.
Even though Pomage wasn't a Trickshotter, his decision to leave FaZe had the hugest impact, and I believe the first domino to fall that created the divergence between players and teams. At this time, Pomage was the biggest person in the community. He really blew up on BO2, and at some point he was honestly bigger than FaZe itself. So what caused the problem and the reason why he made this decision is because he had this really big montage that was coming out, but he wanted it on his personal channel, but FaZe wanted it on their channel, and they had this argument. They were going back and forth, and finally Pomage decided that he's leaving FaZe because he'd rather have it on his channel, because why only take a portion of the views, attraction, money, when you can just have it on your own channel when you have just as much of an audience as FaZe did. That was the power that FaZe had. FaZe had the bigger audience that would help all these players grow bigger. But once Pomage finally had that audience, it had that numbers, what do you need FaZe for? This definitely was one of the most impactful things that happened in the community, but it was more of a long-term thing. This obviously didn't come into a huge effect until years later, to where like Rain, Apex, all of them started blowing up and really started diverging. Like there was more and more of them, but at this time it was really just Pomage, and so I think this deserves the number 2 spot.
What's up, guys? It is Sawtrust, and I'm back again, exposing these noners like it's my job. So as you can see, I was in a recent game with Soar Tensors.
Sawtrust was the exposer of the community. He would show who was faking clip, who was setting up clips, and who was using lock lobbies. And lock lobbies is pretty much just like a private match, but it's made in public match to where you could just choose whomever you want in the lobby. And no one knows who Sawtrust is. He only came as the identity. Sawtrust wasn't even in Saw, but and he has quite the mysterious factor to him. And hopefully there's a video on him one day. I hope to see that. But anyways, he would expose people for faking clips, and what really hurt the most is that the more and more videos that came out of people faking clips, the more and more people just got used to it, and it got normalized. And instead of fighting back and trying to get people out of the community who were faking clips, it came to the point where we just didn't care anymore. And I think that was one of the biggest backstabs we did to our own community, was this mentality and this immaturity of just not caring. We thought that was like the cool thing to do, is not care. And because of that, we kind of just let it happen. We kind of let people do that, you know. Lock lobbies were just, you know, who cares? You know, let them do it. Set up clips, let them do it. Who cares? How about EB? Throw it in there too. Who cares? And this really was one of the biggest step downs of our downfall of our community. And even though the last one, it was very impactful in the long term, as a Trickshotting side, this one definitely think hurt the community the most in the long term as well. And it came to the point where even like we fake clips now, and we deem that acceptable. You know, it's just like it was like 3 years, 2 years later after this, 1 year later after this, where we pretty much just accepted fake clips were just like okay. And I think this was definitely one of the biggest ones that just allowed it to where like people can do this, and we just accepted it. So this is easily the number 1 spot. Let me know what you think. Do you think there were more impactful things that happened? Do you think there were things that were on here that were not as impactful as I said they were? Let me know what you think, and I hope you have a nice day.
14 minutes? This seems a little fishy. Okay, let's play one of these bad boys. Oh, don't see my gamer tag.